Hey, this is Dr. Carole Holland. Welcome to another wonderful, exciting episode of Covered in It. Are you covered in mud, sweat, tears, love, despair, happiness, debt, anything you want to know about, we're going to talk about on this podcast. Not the one maybe today, but I hope that you guys can get some good information about another wonderful veterinarian I know here in Wellington. She's a hard-working veterinarian. She started here in 2007, just fresh out of vet school at the University of Florida. Go Gators, even though I'm a bulldog. We're still friends and, we get along. It's Dr. Erin Newkirk for WellGrove Equine. She's first worked as an intern and a resident with Dr. Reed, and she went out on her own and established a wonderful, fantastic quarantine breeding facility, and she really has brought breeding and upgraded breeding in the Wellington area. I'm going to ask her a few questions today and let her get talking. My first question is, Erin, what are you covered in today?
Today, actually lucky not to be covered in horse manure. So this is actually the time of year when I'm less covered in that. We have a lot of things going on. We have over 30 horses under roof right now over at the quarantine facility.
So you're not only just not covered in manure, you're covered in
Lots of things. Just keeping up with that and clients and then the business side of things.
So how much would you say the business part of it takes away from you each day?
I don't know, takes away is probably not the right word.
Okay, so what is?
You have to take time to work on the business and not in the business. And so probably 15-20% of the time.
During each day?
We kind of bulk it up to once a week to focus on meeting stuff and then the rest of the week to work. Being one of the primary vets within the practice, there's a lot of client-facing demand still. And so I'm very valuable in that space, but I also have to take time and schedule how to work on the business. And so we do that a little bit after hours, and then we do actually schedule weekly meetings where we can get together and do it.
Have your husband helping you in the business? How many vets are working with you now?
So there's myself and 2 associates.
Oh.
So there's 3 of us. My husband had other jobs and stuff, and then he finally, one of his most important jobs, though, to be honest with you, is my kids. He is very much a person that is very involved with our girls.
You have 2 girls?
I have 2 girls, and they are the love of my life. But part of being, a vet is a lot of demands on the table, and having him as being this close about doing everything is amazing. I couldn't do it without him, to be honest. Not on this scale. Let's put it that way.
Can you explain to us exactly how your facility runs for people that don't really know what a CEM quarantine is and what is CEM?
The way our facility works, I ended up with a property mostly because of the demand to have a CEM quarantine facility. And that facility has rings and walker and round pen and stalls and client amenities because it provides for the quarantine experience. In Florida, we're actually quite blessed that people can come enjoy their horses while they're in quarantine. And CEM is contagious equine metritis. It's a bacterial infection that's not endemic in the US but is endemic in Europe, and so these horses have to undergo testing after arriving from Europe, mares and stallions, to make sure they're clear of this. It takes a longer period of time, and the testing process is just testing for the sexually transmitted disease. We're allowed to actually keep these horses fit and in work, which is one of the blessings of being here.
That's nice. And you take mares and stallions.
Mares and stallions,
because that disease is in Europe. It's not in any other countries in the world?
It's in a few other countries. I'm not going to give the laundry list, but it's mostly European horses, and because South Florida is the mecca for sport horses in the winter, this is our big season because they're coming in right now to get through quarantine so they're ready for the whole show season.
So pretty much 7 days a week you're accepting horses into your facility, or are there any days off for you?
Well, there's no days off. Yes, there are, because I have other associates and other team members that help divvy this out, and that's part of having a quality of life. But the arrivals depend on the USDA. So the USDA doesn't work certain days. You're not going to receive on certain days.
So you've been doing the WellGrove quarantine for how many years now?
So we opened the facility in 2019, actually. And we bought the property in 2020.
Okay.
So we've been there. And we do also, it's primarily for quarantine, but we do have, depending on the time of year and whatnot, where I do other services out of the facility. But
is most of your practice based on reproduction and that?
A large percentage, yes, primarily reproduction. But we do a lot of wellness, basically the general health care, vaccines, blood tests, just making sure, because really, when we start this from beginning to end, from conception to the elderly horses, we love doing it all, in all honesty.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But our focus has been predominantly being like the go-to for reproduction in the area.
And do you guys take emergencies also?
Our own clients, we do our own
so
emergencies.
you're pretty
Oh,
much all of you are on call.
Yeah.
Then.
So we share the on-call, and having 3 doctors really is the key to that, I will be honest.
Yeah.
Because when it's 2, it's much harder. When it's
Yeah.
3, it's much more
It's
reasonable.
good. So each one of you, and you have a family, and you've established this business mainly with your husband, with the family. So what has been the number one struggle with your family life and your vet life? Because I know everybody wants to hear that.
To be honest, it was harder to balance family and work when I was an associate prior to starting my own business. And it sounds wild because the responsibilities have grown a lot, and having business management and practice and then being the vet and all that stuff, yes, it's throughout your day. But I have more freedom to do things with my kids, more freedom to schedule things around that, and to just be integrated in their part of the world. That's much easier than when you're working for somebody else. So,
Yeah.
and I've tried, honestly, within my practice to make it for my associates where they have freedom to have some of those things too. That it's not, we're here from this time to this time, you're working all this, you're doing less structured, more flexible, because to keep people in this industry, we have to take care of our people.
Yes.
And that's really from the bottom up throughout the whole business is the care of the people. Like that's how we deal with our grooms, with our staff, with everybody, because if we take care of our people, they take care of our clients.
Yeah, and taking care of your people. So what do you recommend to your vets? Do you give them more time off? Do you allow them different hours? How would you structure that?
Well, mostly it's a bit of a flexible time off schedule. When we're not in the busier season, feel free, take your time, go do the things you want to do. If something comes up or you have a doctor's appointment, we'll schedule around it. You don't have to like try and make it work on this one day of the month. That's the only thing that you can do. You know, the other thing is if anybody's sick, don't come to work. I don't want to share that amongst the team, but it's also one of those things you don't have to expect. Like, we have purposely made more people than what the work is to a slight degree, so that when stuff happens, we're all able to pitch in and fill in the gaps. At
So
least
you have
most of the time.
A bigger team than you might need, but you do that.
Probably, but in all honesty, it makes it much easier for us to flex and move and be able to accommodate demand when it swells. And then if it's not busy, then people can have time to go take care of themselves.
That's interesting. That's a good concept and probably a really good tip for people too. What tips would you have for a young person starting out? Because you and I were talking before we started, and you had mentioned that we had something in common, that we were both grew up in 4-H, and 4-H was kind of our beginning. So what tips would you have for a young person if they had 4-H or didn't have that or some way that wanted to be a vet?
I mean, for the most part, I think any of us that are actively vets, if you are gung-ho about doing something, we don't mind you tailing along or following along or trying to shadow. Like, that was the big thing for me. Like, my family didn't have much of anything, grew up, had 4-H, had a couple horses, and finding people to go spend time with, shadowing, just getting experience is really where it comes down to, and making the connections. That's the big thing, is all the people that you can connect with is what helps take you to the other levels of everything, to be honest.
Did you expect this level when you started?
No, not at all.
When did you know you want to be a vet?
Oh, I knew I wanted to be when I was 8.
8. You and I have more in common.
I was
than you.
young, but I had made that decision. Like, and it's actually a story that goes back to my aunt, who prior to that moment, and I have it in my head, I was like, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I live in Florida, go play with all the things in the water. And she's like, I don't know if they make that much money, but you might consider being the vet for the marine biologist. And then it switched in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Then from that point on, that was just my driving factor, yeah.
Then you went to UF, you said you graduated and came here and got started, so that's a great thing. If you had to give another thing, like covered in something daily that makes you feel good, that you just had to look back on every day and you woke up, what would that be?
Just this. All of this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the
It's going to
feeling?
make me cry.
I know, I cry. Believe me, I cry through everything, and I think it's absolutely wonderful.
It's one of those things, what I do every day is something that people dream of. And I did. So.
And I dreamed about it too, and starting those dreams and having the dream. We had a blacksmith on another podcast that's been in Wellington since 1982, I think he said. I was like, wow, man, that's like when I got in vet school. But he said it was a dream for him, and it was the dream. And so to make that dream happen, did you put your head down? What kept you going? What kept the spirit up?
Good question. Type A personality, driven, always striving to achieve something better,
So
mostly.
at 2:00 in the morning when you're pulling a foal, was that your dream? 3:00?
I don't know if that exactly was, but let me tell you, the moments after that foal's born, in the shavings or in the stall with them,
Yeah.
that's some of the coolest stuff there is.
That is a dream, huh?
I cannot cry. You don't get those moments without being in this business, so it's really cool, and it's quiet and it's cool, and it's just so special.
So if you have one moment that you think back on, the whole entire years that I can't multiply in my head right now because my math skills are kind of depleted as I've aged.
Yeah.
But since you've been a vet, do you have one moment that stands out above all the others?
I don't think so.
It's the whole thing, huh?
It's the whole thing.
What do you tell your girls when they say they want to be something?
That's okay. For my girls, it's mostly support for them to follow what they want to do.
Either of them want to be a vet yet?
They've
or
both
not?
mentioned it.
They did?
Yeah. I'm not going to discourage them against it, but it's definitely something you want to do. Like,
Yeah,
but there's so many rewarding things about it, so it's a passionate part.
the passionate part.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're such a big success at it, is because of the passion and the dream. Everybody in Europe knows you're quarantined, everybody in America, because Wellington is where, we come for the wintertime. It's a special place. And we're both so gifted to be here. It's been absolutely wonderful. What tip, again, I'm always asking tips.
Yeah.
So those of us that are in the group right now, those of us that are struggling with our 40 years, our 25 years, give me something to hang on to that every day, your pen that you always write with, your cup that you take to work, your coffee cup, your favorite shirt, your favorite boots. Is there something that you do routine that says, I'm going to do this today and this gets me going?
I think that's my coffee. I will be honest. That's the best thing to wake up to in the morning, is the coffee maker that already makes the coffee when you get up and it's right there. No, that's kind of the coffee in the system, and then go
And
tackle
then
the
go.
day. Yeah.
So do you expect to be in this business many, many more years? Or
No.
you don't have any plans for retirement, I hope?
No. My husband's on the other thing, like, all right, what's the exit strategy? What are we gonna do when we retire? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not there yet. Still things to go do, still things to go build, still others to take care of. So like helping bring other vets through this process and create the new norm, basically.
I know I asked you, and there's a new program starting in West Palm Beach here in Florida that's going to allow for vet techs to get a new job. And I know both of us are really passionate about bringing young vets.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad to see that you're as passionate as I
Absolutely.
am about this. And we both have been up a lot of nights in our life, and we still want to do it even more.
Still want to do it.
We
Still love
wanna do
it.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for being covered in it, the manure,
Yes.
the pee, and
Everything.
everything.
Oh my God.
And I know I'm going to see a lot of you, and it's such a pleasure, and I'm so glad you came.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.